Hello all and Happy New Year! I am bringing your tips and tricks here for the month of January, and I wanted to bring up a topic that I think a lot of individuals come to our center to work on, and that is muscular strength. So you might kind of wonder, how are we figuring out, on some of the workout equipment, what you should be working out at? Or maybe in group exercise classes, you're yelling out your pound of weight that you want to work on, and maybe we need to be looking at different weights, whether that's lighter or heavier weights in those classes. So I thought I'd first kind of start with that annual assessment. That is a great time for us to kind of look at the strength components of your workout routine to then be able to offer some advice as far as what you should be working out at. So what we typically do if we're doing any strength testing in those assessments on a piece of equipment, we will have you start at, what you think ballpark wise you can do from a lifting perspective. Then from there, we might say, okay, we want to do a 5 rep max or a 10 rep max. And what that means is that we're trying to get you to use all the power in that muscle group to do, with proper form, to do those 5 or 10 reps. And then you are kind of at that failure point where you don't feel like you could do another repetition. That is what a 5 rep or a 10 rep or sometimes even a 1 rep max looks like. And so then from there, what we can do is kind of calculate a percentage of that. If you're doing a 10 rep max, I would probably recommend that weight is what you would then work out at for 10 reps, 3 sets. If you're doing a 5 rep max, we can do a fancy calculation and figure out what that 10 repetitions should be on, a daily or twice a week routine for you. And so from there, then you can kind of progress yourself, do some check-ins. If you find that the last 2 repetitions of your 10 rep set is getting too easy, or you don't feel like it's a challenge by those final 2 repetitions, then maybe it's time we need to up that weight a little bit. And then also in thinking about group exercise classes, I know people might have some New Year's resolutions for wanting to get stronger, getting consistent with an exercise routine. And so checking in those group exercise classes as well to see, do I need to bring over maybe a light set of dumbbells as well as a heavy set of dumbbells depending on the exercise that they're giving us. And we are more than willing to bring over extra sets of weights, so that way you're really making sure you're challenging the muscle to its entirety. Of course, when you are doing any sort of strength training, we always want to look at form. So if you notice that your form is starting to deteriorate, that's probably an indication that you're lifting too heavy. Also things to consider if you have pain, maybe it's just working through a pain-free range without weights to begin, and then adding in that resistance, whether it's dumbbells, TheraBand activities, after that pain has kind of resolved and you've been able to maintain or improve some of that range of motion. So those are some of my tips and tricks for strength training. Of course, if you have any questions on how to progress, or if it's time for that annual assessment and you want to say, hey, I specifically want to really figure out where I should be working out at on these certain pieces of equipment, we are more than happy and more than willing to help guide you in that direction. So Happy New Year's, continue that strength training, and we will see you in the gym.